in the same time and space, okay? So the title of this program that we are developing is a Universe Reset. I believe many of you have been listening that this is happening. And in this presentation, we have three presentations similar to this, but we are gonna only present one and a half. Yeah. And the title of this presentation is Universe, Design, Human Evolution, and the pain that we are all suffering. And this is a recollection of channel revelations, real-life missions, and synchronic facts. Synchronic facts that we have verified with many of you and people in other countries. Okay, so let's start. So this is the contents that we are going to be talking about and sharing with you, and you are going to get many vibrations.
From source to multiverses to our universe. We're not the only game in town, guys. It's a small planet, it's a big universe, and a bunch of multi-universes, okay? So we're a small part of Divine's plan. It's our universe design is the human race plan. It's all about human race evolution. We have two practical teachings we're going to teach later. One is how we have to do some meditations and put protection on. It's all about ascension and consciousness expansion. That's why we're all here. We're here to learn, and we're here to teach people. Teach and learn. If you ever read The Law of One by Ra, the Ra beings, six-dimensional beings. Earth, human evolution, it's a pain context. There's no gain without pain. That's why we're going through a lot of chaos and a lot of pain right now. The Divine Plan, we've been working with the Tri-Alliance, a lot of beings that are off-planet, and all their actions are helping humans right now. We've all asked for this over the years because we can't take this planet anymore the way things were going. And they're accelerating things for us over the last couple of years. The third is the practical teachings, as we said before, for protection and vibrational uplifting to help with ascension. We have some tools. We mentioned Gail's breathing before. There's more than 50 ways to get to Rome, okay? There's a lot of breathing exercises out there. We're going to teach you ours, what we do, how we put on protection, and everybody should be doing this. It's all about the breath, guys. Yogis have been teaching this for 6,000 years. Once you get the breath right, and we go from vibration to pulsation, we're going to get it.
Okay, so we are going to start. The first part of the presentation is to bring to you a context, a cosmology context. So we all know source is light, energy, vibration, right? And he's present in every universe, he's present in us, and it's just that we need to reconnect. So we are going to show how I got the revelation of this evolves from one point, source, to a seed of life, is what you see on the left right here, to a flower of life, to the fruit of life. And all this replicates. It's like a, what's the name of when you have something that replicates? Replication, but it's not.
Duplicates?
No, it's like a, it's a what?
Replication, yeah.
Okay, so source is vibration, and he delivers his energies through rays. At some part of the evolution of our universe, we received 7 rays. A few years ago, we moved into the 12 rays, and now we are getting into the 13 rays, and you will start listening a lot of this information from other sources, because a lot of people is getting it. It's in the consciousness, the global consciousness that we all access. So to the right, you see the design of how a multiverse is configured. So the multiverse is a set of different universes. The little spheres that you see with colors are universes with different rules and laws. So our universe is based on unconditional love, free will, and many other things. But we need to comprehend that other universes are different. So we don't need to be fighting against something that has its right. The only problem is that they came to do some delay in our evolution, and we are going to understand that in a little bit. So we have this video that we're gonna play. It's gonna show.
It's only about 3 minutes. It's going to show how big this universe and the other universes are. Okay. All right. This is where you live in our solar system, guys. Okay. Here's the distance to scale between the Earth and the Moon. It's not that far, right? Inside that distance, you can fit every planet in our solar system. I wish we could slow this down. Jupiter is really large. That's its green smudge. Here's Earth. Well, 6 Earths compared with Saturn. All right. That's nothing compared to our sun. There's the Earth, way down there. Here's a photo from Earth, of Earth from the Moon. You're getting a little closer. Okay. That insignificant little dot there, that's the Earth. It's from about 4 billion miles away. Here's Arcturus, over 16,000 times larger in volume. Here's Alpha Scorpii, Canis Major. Our sun's barely even visible at this scale. That's nuts. It's important to compare the size of a galaxy. So the sun is just under 1,400,000 kilometers. Well, our Milky Way galaxy is approximately 100,000. That's roughly, oh God, that's a lot of zeros. Big number, yeah. The Milky Way galaxy is huge, okay? So here's where we live, inside of it. You see that little dot inside the galaxy? Little yellow circle there. If you guys can see that. Even our galaxy is a little runt compared with some others. This is IC 1011. Think about all that could be inside there. And there's the Milky Way down there. All right, think bigger. The Hubble telescope took this picture. It contains thousands of galaxies. Each galaxy containing billions of stars. Each star orbited by its own planets. And all of that was seen in this small patch of sky right there, that little square. So if you're ever feeling upset, just remember, this is your home, little planet Earth here, the blue-green dot. And further out into the solar, and even further, this is our interstellar neighborhood. There's a Milky Way galaxy, just a little bit further out. This is going too quick for me to talk. Here it is, everything in the observable universe. Oh man, yeah, that's easy. It's been estimated there are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on Earth. But there are more atoms in one grain of sand than there are stars in the universe. Think about that, guys. That concept.
So part of the message here is there are, they say, because I don't know if there are, because it's kind of infinite, 400 billion galaxies in our universe. 400 billion galaxies in our universe. So how many star systems within each galaxies, or how many billions or trillions in our universe? And we are, how many people are we incarnated here on Earth? Maybe 7, 8 billion. And many of us volunteer And out of the billions or trillions of volunteers, we were selected to come here and do this work. So we are special, each one of us. We bring our own grain of sand to all this big castle that we are building. We are building the castle of the human race evolving. So that's part of the message that we are delivering here, is that Steve talks about beautiful things. Mary also gets her knowledge, and it's beautiful what she does, what does Gail, Chad. We all contribute to all this. So we need to have in our hearts infinite love, unconditional love, and compassion for all of us. So that's the main point. So it's an invitation to jointly co-create this new human race, evolving human race. Okay, so now I'm gonna mention this. I think Chad already said this. So our galaxy takes around 7.5 billion years to go around the universe. And our solar system takes 240 million years to go around the center of our galaxy. Those are insane numbers, right? So sometimes we say, oh, we have been in pain, we have been suffering, our friends, family, the humans have been suffering for the last 50 years, 100 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years. But that's something very small to what we had been experiencing as humans here on Earth. So this is, I mentioned at the beginning that most of this information came through revelations. I've been through a process, awakening process, that started at the end of 2015, very strong awakening, and unfolded mid 2016 through different experiences. And it's been a continuous uplifting. So my message to you is continue the uplifting. Do the meditation 2-3 times per day. And if you feel that you are called to meditate for 2 hours, 3 hours, go for it. Because what you will get is incredible. So through all these meditations, it happens to me like maybe 5 times per week that I go out for 3.5 hours. Many times happen at Chad's location in Massachusetts, many in my location in Miami. I live in this corner of the Bermuda Triangle. I have a vortex close to my house, and right next to our balcony we have a portal, and I've seen opening the portal and closing, and the other side of the portal. I've never been consciously through the portal, but I see what moves around the portal. So in one of these experiences, I was invited through my multidimensionality to a meeting. This was after 3 hours of connection to a meeting at the Council of Super Universes. I got there and whoop, it was just vertical light, beam light, thousands of beams. And in my route there, my main guy that was taking me over there was showing me the different levels in the blueprint of the architecture of our universe. So you see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in here. So 1, we have a source, then rays emanate from source, and then we get into these 3 rings, our internal concentric rings. In the first ring, we have the creator sun of this universe. Is the sun of source that decided to create this universe with certain rules and laws and definitions. And then he invited his brothers and other creator sons to co-create in this universe. Why? Because he decided to create a universe for a race to evolve based on or in? In duality. And duality started, and I'm going to show another graphic, is the positive and the negative component. We all know we are dual. Nature is dual. But at some point, duality went out of control because we got the influence from other beings, other energies from other universes that had some greed. I'm going to explain that later. So number two are the creation rays emanating from source. They get into the three concentric rings. The third ring are the sons of the sons and the ones that already ascended to source, and they stay in this universe as co-creators. So I believe many of you have heard that we are co-creators. Yes, we are. We are a very special team working here to help many others evolve and become co-creators. We are just starting to remember many things. In number 4, we see another ring. This is very important ring because this is the spiritual ring of this universe. So every creation, every universe has their spiritual path. And in this spiritual ring, we have what is called the Christ consciousness. So when you see the rays moving from source, they expand to the definitions, the rules and the laws, and then expands through there to the consciousness. And from the consciousness, everything expands to galaxies, to solar systems, to planets, and to us. So when you feel the vibration coming and you feel that you need to rest, go and rest, because you are getting some specific codes or genetic codes. Downloads are called also. And these downloads, the genetic or specific, depend on what you have accomplished in your own evolution path. And they will activate at the right moment. But once you get it, it's because you already accomplished certain percentage of what you needed to do for those codes to get to you. And that's part of the evolution. It's not that we are going to ascend because we are going to ascend. No. We need to do work. And it's not difficult. I went to Egypt for 26 days. This was a spiritual journey 3.5 months after I started the awakening process, and it came out of nothing. And it was beautiful because I started, I think, Steve, or David or Steve? David? Yeah, David mentioned something about the Nile, the temples in the Nile. So I went with this person that had been for 26 years taking people to Egypt. But before getting into any temple, he delivers a conference, spiritual conference about the temple. So we went through every one of these temples, learning how impacts the chakras, our chakras and the chakras of that space. And when we got to Luxor, is where they explain the human body. And if you look at Luxor, Luxor is very similar to Temple Mountain, Chad. It's a design of the human body. And if you in Luxor go to the area of the head and you stand up next to where they tell is the pineal gland, you will feel it. It's incredible. And what they did over there in Egypt is that they put everything on the rock. So nobody could change it. They tried to change it, but it was very difficult. So all the teachings were there available for everybody. So that's why an empire or an evolution lasted for thousands and thousands of years because they were consistent. They were always evolving. and that's something that we are missing. We are in this transition period that is taking for us longer because we have many interference, many manipulations, and we need to go to our neutral point and protect ourselves and bring spirit to us, and from within to the outside start feeling and practicing. Okay, so this is our specific design for this universe, the humans evolving in this universe. So we have Mother, Father, God is they create this universe based on duality. They have a plan and they have projects. The projects they create are with the other sons. This is a universe in which the humans evolve through unconditional love. I believe many of you have heard this. And the humans in this universe have the capability to ascend based on their evolution path up to source. That's very different to many other universes, and that's what generated a lot of problems to us, because the greed from the energies and beings in other universes, that they could ascend only up to their creator, father, mother. The other important element in our design, human design, is the free will. It's very important. And then we have, this is yours, because I always I pronounce this, I mess it up.
Oh, intertwined.
It's a human race.
Intertwined evolution.
Intertwined, yes, it's an evolution. And it's based on this. This is another graphic that I got the information from. It has a lot of information within. So on top we have source, just below the three concentric rings, and below the Christ consciousness. And to the sides we have the two energies, the two arcs. They call it the arcs. One arc is the positive, the other arc is the negative. We know about the arc of the covenant and the other arcs. Excuse me, but what I've been getting is that we have two arcs that makes the duality, and within the arcs we have the three realms. The Devic realm. All of you know who belong to the Devic? Anybody doesn't know? I don't know. Okay. We have the human race, it's another realm, and we have the angelic realm. And in the past, we were able to collaborate until maybe 450,000 years ago, when some other beings came here and changed our DNA. They messed it up. And then we stopped listening to the birds, to the trees, to the rocks, to the crystals. And it was very difficult for us to listen to the angels, archangels, the thrones, principalities, and up to source, or our multidimensionality. So we have been recovering that. Many had been awakened since long time ago, but are very few. So when Source found out this, and the Creator saw that many things were not happening according to plan, that means that many of the humans were not ascending according to plan. They said, something is wrong. Something is not working well. So they started what they call an audit to the plan. I'm gonna talk about that later. So this is a summary of our human blueprint. So we have three main components. Spirit is the spark from source. We have our soul, and we have the subtle bodies. The main are 4, I believe, and then we have more, up to 32 subtle bodies. And once we start reconnecting, we identify in which body we are having interaction. So many, I don't know if you do astral travel, astral projections. So when you are in astral, In astral, what I have identified is there are 5 levels: lower astral, mid astral, superior astral, high astral, and divine astral. And when we get up to divine astral, we move to another body, and I believe the name is the Buddhic body, and then we go up and up and up and up. Okay, so these are the human race evolution phases, and we get a question here. So what is human evolution? So Chad, tell me, what is human evolution?
Human evolution is, you talked about giving God, the Catholics say tithing 10%, okay? They don't want, God doesn't need 10% of your money, okay? There is no money. He wants 10% of your time, okay? It's learning about evolution. So if you take a couple hours a day, learn to meditate, just do whatever. He's going to give back 100-fold to you guys. He's going to give you the knowledge that you need to evolve on this planet. So evolution has to do with just getting to know God, knowing what He's about, why we're here. That's all part of the evolutionary process.
Is to understand who we are.
Right.
And from understanding who we are, start vibrating from within, from our heart.
10% is about 2 hours a day, guys. That's not much. He's not asking for a lot of your time. I think we can give him at least that, and then the rest is going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah. Okay, so the information I got is that we have been through 2 phases of the human evolution, and we are starting a new cycle, and it's what they call the reset. This new cycle is based on multidimensionality collaboration. So the first phase or cycle was based on low duality, neutral duality, duality going from 20% up to 50%. And they found out that humans were not evolving as quickly as they wanted. And evolution was taking millions of years for a root race to move into another root race. So they modified and they implemented intense duality evolution. And in intense duality evolution, some cluster galaxies enter into that evolution path, and they were doing some testing on that. We are within one of these cluster galaxies in which the several hierarchies have been following up our evolution. I don't know if you're familiar, but there are 3 main hierarchies. One is the Lanunadek, Vorunadek, and Melchizedek. These are important hierarchies because each one has important roles. One is in charge of the genetics, the other one is in charge of the socio-political situations, and the other is in charge of education. And they expand from up to the lower levels. Okay. So for number 2, the intense duality, the accelerated evolution is with what we have been through. And we are going to provide more information about that historical context. And now we are entering into this multi-dimensionality collaboration evolution. And I believe many of you are in contact with your guides, are in contact with your divinity, your higher self, and you already started those conversations. And maybe they are telling you that they are going to take control at some percentage of your actions and your free will. That's not bad. It's actually very good. Okay, so I'm going to pass this one because Chad already explained what evolution and consciousness expansion is. And we are going to move into these practical teachings for our integrated human evolution. Okay, so we evolve to consciousness expansion, and to get into that space, it's very important to breathe. To breathe.
All in the breath, yeah.
Yes. So we are going very quick through this one. Chad, can you guide please?
Where are you?
So this is
Yes, we're going to be talking about the breath work, learning how to inhale just below your belly button, okay? While inhaling, in this cycle, you're going to visualize all these things we're talking about. Ray of light from source, it's a vortex, okay?
So you see a vortex over there in the universe. You visualize that vortex. Then a ray of light comes from that vortex to the central zone. And from the central zone goes through the central zone and comes to our sun. And from our sun enters into our crown chakra. And then into our energy center of the third eye. And we concentrate the light there in every intake and outtake.
Yep, in breath, out breath, yep.
Okay.
Okay.
We repeat this for several cycles. So we are just gonna do 3 cycles. Okay. So it's gonna take us maybe 1 minute or 2. So let's start. Okay, let's take the third one from the vortex where source is bringing out to us the rays. So we take one ray, we bring that ray to the central sun of this galaxy, energizes over there, and then we take it to our sun, energizes over there with what is needed for us. It comes to our crown chakra, to our third eye, the pineal. We concentrate the light over there and we exhale, again doing the same. We don't exhale the energy, the light. We maintain the energy, the light within us. Okay, so that's very important. I believe many of you already practice breath work. And now we move into something important. And we have developed this program. It's a platform based on 3 areas. The first one is detox your subtle bodies. The second area is uplifting your vibration. And the third is reconnection. And for detox is also protection. So this is one practice that I was introduced to 4 years ago. I didn't pay attention for a year and a half. And then in 2017, at the end of 2017, I said, wow, I didn't pay attention and it's real. So this is calling Holy Spirit with words that work. It's calling Holy Spirit in the way our ancestors did, the Hebrew and the Yeshua did, and is pronouncing this, Ruach HaKodesh, Ruach HaKodesh. And the meaning is the Spirit of God comes to me. Okay? So you can say, if you don't want to say that because you don't know it, you can say Spirit, Spirit, or Holy Spirit 12 times. And imagine that a sphere of pure white light is coming to you and covering you,
Around you.
putting it around you. And you extended the diameter that you wanted. Okay, 3 meters or 18 feet. Whatever you want.
Yeah, in Hebrew, Ruach HaKodesh is one of the 72 names of God. So what you're actually doing is calling in the Holy Spirit and putting the Holy Spirit around you for protection. And this is what we should be doing every day, guys.
Every day, at least 3 times. At the beginning of the day, midday, and at the end of the day before going to bed. And you will have sweet dreams. Okay, so let's do the Ruach HaKodesh, or Spirit. I believe you all believe in Spirit. 12 times. And then we continue with the presentation, okay?
And roll that Ruach, Ruach HaKodesh.
Ruach HaKodesh.
We're going to do it 12 times. Ruach
So
HaKodesh.
you guide.
Yep.
Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh.
Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's move very quick. Okay, so we know the design of the humans. We evolved through consciousness expansion. And then a very important component comes now, and it's our DNA. So our DNA is eternal. So our DNA moves with us, with our soul. So there are two main components of the DNA. The DNA that is attached to the physical plane, to the bodies, the subtle bodies, and is related to our human flesh, our human blood lineage. And we have the other component of the DNA is the etherical DNA. It's the DNA that is linked to our multidimensionality and our soul. So when we have this consciousness, we are able to expand in the two different areas, resolving situations that we have with our bloodline and resolving situations that we have to reconnect with our multidimensionality. So when we advance, we get into this space, the space of love, wisdom, and divine power. We feel empowered. We feel that we want to help others. Important to go step by step because we get the activations little by little. And then we start visualizing when we go out and connect with the different planes. We start visualizing what you see below are graphics of how you see your bodies and the bodies of others when you interact with them in astral or in the other divine planes. Okay, so why all that was important? Because it doesn't happen because it happens. It happens because there are many reasons to happen. And one, as I mentioned before, we are a universe within a multiverse, and our universe is designed with some rules and conditions and bringing other sons from other universes to collaborate. And then we have a specific place in this galaxy and within this universe. And our galaxy, our planet, moves through different energies. So when we rotate, we move close to the energy of the universe in which our Creator Father designed this project with the negatives. So we have higher influence from them. And then when we move to another location closer to the center of our galaxy, which is more aligned with the positive and light, then we start another process. Hindus, the Vedic scripts.
Yeah, they call it the yugas.
Yeah, they analyzed this since thousands of years ago, and they call it the Kalis, the yugas, yeah. And it's a ascension, descension process. Ascension, descension. And it's like, it's based in a 26,000 year cycle in which 12,000 are positive, 12,000 are negative, but we have a space of 2,000 in which we have a transition. And the first 1,000 years of the transition is the Kali Yuga descending, and the second 2,000 is the Kali Yuga ascending. And we are finishing the Kali Yuga ascending. We are entering into another age, and it's also another cycle in our evolution. So this new age, I believe many of you know, it is called the Golden Age, right? So in order for that to happen, we need to cleanse many things that are wrong in our design, the design that we were experiencing since thousands of years ago.
And that's what's happening right now on the planet. And a better way to explain what the yugas are and what we're going through in this universe is we're going through a photon belt now. And the energy is going to start getting more intense. And they say we're going to get 400% smarter. Okay, all these photons that are hitting us. So get prepared, guys. It's going to be a good ride for the next 1,000 years.
So that's what is called the precession of the equinoxes, all this. And it's a precession based in the galaxy and a precession based in the universe. And right now we are in a very important space-time because we are close to both. We are in the intersection of both, the galactic and the universal. Okay, so what you see here, this design, is showing our galaxy in the border of our universe, very close to the gray universe, which is the one that has the rules based on negativity, and the yellow universe that is always positive. And we are dual. We are the blue universe. So this graphic shows a little bit our positioning in this all big scheme of things. So the pain context. So we are in pain. Yes, we have been in pain. We have suffered, but many now understand. Many of you and many others already understand why. But I'm going to give the context of this. So what happened? So several thousand years ago, around 450,000 years ago, we got interfered. This plan was hacked. Divine plan was hacked by the energies coming from the negative side. They had a lot of greed, and they didn't want others to compete with them. They didn't want humans to ascend up to source and get the gifts and the powers and the talents of source, the energies of source. Even that when we ascend, we are not going after anybody. We are just helping our race to grow in this universe. This universe is so big, but we don't need to go to other universes to see it, other planets, to see it, other star systems, to see it, other galaxies that are information. They didn't understand that. They act with greed, and they got some friends here that came from the Pleiadians when one of these wars happened millions of years ago, and they didn't want to obey the rules of the universe, and they moved here. This was a planet evolving, and they came here in a higher density, and they showed themselves as gods. And they slave humans, and for their own benefit. And at some point, they were happy interacting with the whole humans evolving here, the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, and each one had their own space, but at some point they wanted more. And it happened that this is related to the wars, the cosmic galactic wars, the Lyrian and wars. One of these commanders found a way to create humans via replication, and they put the soul of humans in replicators, and they created. But at the end of the wars, they put all these souls in special chambers, special places. I don't know if you heard. Yeah, it was a prison of people, beings that suffered in the wars, but they put them in I forgot the name of this special place. And then Father God found out that they had these souls in that space, and he said, no, every soul has the right to evolve in my universe, even if they are polarized by duality, or if they are positive. You need to release them. These souls were in Orion, Sirio Orion area. They had to obey this instruction, and they moved billions of souls that they had in this. I will come with the right word later. To several planets. And one of the planets was Earth. So they came here and they said to the rulers at that time, the Anunnakis, they said, okay, you need to receive 10 billion souls. And the Anunnakis said, where are we going to put 10 billion souls here? And so they said, you are very good at genetics. So do some changes to allow them in Earth, accelerate the gestation process, and have them there. So I believe you all know the story. So they changed our DNA. The first time they got the first breed, it was in few years. It was smarter than them, so they block our strengths. Some strengths in our DNA. And that's the big problem that we have since more than 400,000 years ago. So that problem moved into the root races. The Lemurian root race, the third race, the Atlantean race, the fourth race, and the Aryan root race, the fifth race. If you want more information about all this, we can meet later on, or you can contact us, and we have a lot of information about it. And then in this pain context, we move into the Aquarian age. It's the transition. The transition to the sixth root race. It's a race that is based in the Americas. But now we go lower and lower into our space, and now we have three powers that want to maintain their power. They don't understand that everything changed, but they are pushing so much everybody to maintain their power, and they are giving additional pain to us. I don't know if you know of this virus, and created by some others, and the slavery of the economy, and many other, the health, slavery, everything is them, 30 families, 40 families that own 90% of the wealth in the planet, and they keep squishing most of the humans. And then we have the last space that we have is the polarized duality. This polarized duality that comes in this space-time that is based on the separation of the shaft and the
chaff and the wheat.
The
The chaff and the wheat.
and the wheat.
That's
Yes.
the harvesting.
Yes, and it is being done through polarized duality. So what we are experiencing now is just one of the final stages to, okay, the ones that already are awakened, continue their path. Some that are at the border of awakening, just listen and awake. But there are many others that are not going to do it. And they will take their decision and will go to where they feel better. So duality. So this is another graphic that I got in March. I was with my wife. That was in the morning, and she was not understanding very well what is duality and the situation that we had with Satan. Satan, one of the representatives from this other universe, the negative universe, and came here to do some work without authorization. So this explains how our universe is called Nevadon, the Nevadon universe, and is ruled by it's not ruled. It's the father creator is Mikael or Mikael or Mika, and in the other universe, the negative universe, we have his brother named Anotak, and you can research this. And I the first time I heard this, I said, this is incredible. I'm not gonna find information about this. So, are you familiarized with what is a supramonad, monad, the I am essence, and how we divide into soul fractals? Any is familiarized with that? You? Okay. Okay. So one that can help us later on deliver better knowledge about this. Okay, so we have the projects up there, and they divide, and then the souls that come from source are injected with the rules and definitions, then are injected with Christ consciousness, and then the two parts of the soul go out to experience. That's a huge summary. But within each one of these two souls, we have the duality, the negative and the positive. Initially was designed to be between 20 and 40%, then it changed between 40 and 60% the polarization. But then the other guys came from other universe, and they started doing hybridization several thousand years ago. And Satan came from this universe. His creator name is Saraten. It's difficult to find her. And he started the hybridization process. So he brought negative energy, a strong negative energy, into our design. So that's why now we find a lot of people that don't get it, that are nuts. And they only think in terms of power because they want to have power over others. And then the huge problem started. We are now living in this space-time Earth in which we have a polarization between, the middle polarization is between 50 to 80%. We have been reducing that with all of you and many others that are light workers, light warriors, and it's not easy because we say when this is going to change drastically.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants.
But that's what we are going to see now in the presentation, in the next slides. So Linda, right? She said something that I practice almost every day. She said, give me more, give me more, give me more. And that's what I say when I connect. I say, I want more, I want more, I want more, give me more, give me more, give me more. And I just go open mind. I don't control anything in my interaction with them because they know better than me. They are evolved over there and they have complete visibility. So I surrender myself to my guides and my multidimensionality. Okay, so this situation with Satan was resolved last year, and I will explain a little about that. And if you do dowsing and you want to contact me later on and look at the papers that I have and do dowsing pendulum in front of the papers, we are more than open to do it. Okay, so the pain, the root races, the situation with the root races. We all know what happened with Atlantis, right? It was destroyed because they...
Yeah, well, Mary spoke about that before when we cracked the earth. Well, I say we, Lemurians, Atlanteans, and that's why they put the pyramid in Egypt, to bring everything back into balance. So that was back then.
So that's the first part of this problem. Then we have the lineage. The three lineages that are in power and they want to keep control. I'm going to summarize because we have a complete presentation about this. The three main groups are the Vatican, and everything started with the Council of Nicaea You say Nicaea?
Yeah. Nicea, I think, Nicaea.
In 3024, year 3024, Constantine the First was the emperor of the great Roman Empire, and he found out that he was losing power over the people in their territory. And then he analyzed why he was losing power, and he found out that it was because there were some patriarchs that were gaining the soul of the people because they were delivering the message of Yeshua. And then he said, oh, wow, this is strong. I need to do something. So he named the patriarchs bishops. There was no Vatican or church at that time, but he named them and he gave some rights to them. He called them to this meeting and he imposed many books, practices into this Bible. He changed.
Yeah, they took out a lot of the apocryphas, a lot of the
Changed
books.
everything for the benefit of the Roman Empire. The first pope that he named, I don't know if you know, it was not Peter. The first pope was his general. Not a person with spirituality. It was a person that was a fighter because he needed to surrender. Make surrender is the way okay. All the other patriarchs, bishops, that didn't want to follow his instructions. And where the patriarchs came from, some of the patriarchs were descendants of the disciples. So they were in different areas in the Middle East, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. They were transferring the knowledge without building churches. And they were gaining the soul of the people at that time. So he was very smart, and they started this control process that we have been through. I went to Catholic school since I was 5 years old, Jesuits, then high school and university, all with Jesuits. I never heard about all this. In university, I heard about, the director who is a priest. He likes to party and he invites some boys to party. I said, what? That's strange. Yeah, they go to discotheques. Yeah. So now that I remember, yes, I think it happened. So they manipulated Yeshua's message. And they got control of the consciousness of many people based on God fear, and they build socio-economical power. If you go and try to research how rich is the church, the Catholic Church, it's very difficult to find it out because they had more than 1,500 years to hide everything, to create the structures to hide. But when you go deep, you will find the connection of the companies through Switzerland and then the Vatican and Germany and the UK and all that. Okay, the second group is, so this group manipulated the blood lineage of Yeshua, okay? And the second group is the Rothschild system. And I call it system because they created a very important system. They are the descendants of King David. Are you familiarized with King David, right? So King David is the father of Solomon.
Yes.
King Solomon. And King David had the blessing of God. I don't know which God, but he's got the blessing. Because in the how do you say the Testament, the Old Testament?
The Old Testament, yes.
Yeah, in the Old Testament there are many gods, and that was one of the problems that Constantine created for us, that he mixed the gods. With Yeshua we believe in one God, but when he brought the Bible from the Jewish, the Hebrew tradition, they brought many gods. And I don't believe in this God that says, go and take this territory and kill everybody in that territory. Do you believe in that God? No, right? That's not compassion, that's not love. So that's a huge situation that they always try to polarize duality with us. Okay, so now we have the Rothschild system, is the descendants of King David, and they did something very, very, very wrong for the divine feminine. They were the ones that usurpated the divine feminine. If you do some research or you want some additional information why this happened, I'm going to give a summary. So they used the divine feminine to gain power. They created a network of spies to go spy in the people in their spaces and in other countries and get information. And Solomon started mixing white magic and black magic. So it created a huge duality problem, and
I think the same thing's happening today, right?
Yeah, and actually it's people related to that system,
Right.
that same system, the Rothschild. So the third group is the communism. It's another empire that we know little because the second group, the Rothschild, they did some wars against them, and they were diminished, but they came out maybe 20, 30 years ago very strong. And they if you do some research, you will find the Tartarian Empire. And they are, an ancestral empire that has some lineage rights also, because they are in this area where the Shambhala and some civilization established long time ago.
Mongolia. Right.
Yeah. And they control consciousness through survival. It's just survival. They go to the lower levels in our essence. And survival, sociological models. Okay, so I'm going quick. So the status right now, so we got some last year, information went up to source, and he validated information, and he found out that the systems designed to move the information up, this is like a computer, it's like a huge computer. The systems designed to collect the information and move the information up the different levels, the Lanonadek, Voronandek, and Melchizedeks, as I explained before, they were corrupt by the negatives also at different levels. At the earth level, we have a Melchizedek, Lalonadek, and Voronandek, and then we have a star systems, several star systems. We have one set of those three, and then it goes up to a galaxy, and then we have a cluster of galaxies where we have another set of three, and they were able through millions of years to infiltrate. And the information that was going up, even the source has omnipresence, it's a different type of omnipresence. The information, when they compared the information, it was so different. The Akashic record of the human entity representative of this lineage, direct lineage from Michael, went up and delivered the information. It was different to what they were reported. They reported. So he came April 24.
April 24th, yeah.
He explained to us, and he said, okay, and we have the video over there. So he gave a message. I'm giving 60 days for the negative energies from other places that don't have authorization to be here to move out. And July 26, we had another experience with the seraphims. He sent seraphims. I don't know if you're familiarized with that level in their structure. They started helping us here. Okay, so we are working in that cleansing. Now, number two, is our work here to change, because it's not just they are going to do everything. No, we created some problems, so we are gonna work to resolve it. So we have two groups: the group that is immersed in 3D, that they think all this is a conspiracy theory, and we have the other group of believers that is growing. And out of 10 conversations that we have, 3 become believers very easily. And they start asking us, how can I get more information? Please tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Right, Linda? There are 3 levels of energies, or we call negative and positive, and they replicate in both groups. So we have the dark negatives, and at the energy level are Saratan, Satan, lineage, the archons. I don't know if you are familiarized with the archons, these energy parasites. And where is their origin? They come from other universe, and they try to take our energy, our vital energy.
Yep, vital energy.
Yes. Yeah, the spark, the energy.
Yeah.
Celestance, the spark that we have. Okay, and then we have the galactic level. In the galactic level, we have these regressive ET races, and some of these races are from this universe, but they got influenced by the negative energies. And the origin is here, this universe, or some come from other universes. In here we have the Draco, the
Reptilians, the Dracos, yeah.
And many others. And we have the Earth level. So at the Earth level, in the negative side, we have hybrid humans that were created through this hybridization. And we have negative humans that also allow these energies to enter, because they have some cosmic lineage that came from this group that was brought here. And they have been through healing, but not enough. And they have been interfering several systems: the judicial, MSM, political, economical, health, education systems. And in the other side, we have the Tri-Alliance, Divine Plan, the Tri-Alliance group. We are within the Tri-Alliance group. We have at the energy level, we have Source, the Seraphims. We have the Archangels. We have Mother, Father, Sananda, Michael, and all the angelic realm at that level. And at the galactic level, we have the positive ETs, ET races. Many that we already know: the Arcturians, Pleiadians, Syrians, Lyrans, Orion from Orion, Aldebarans. Very few know about the people from Aldebaran, the beings from Aldebaran, and the Andromedans. Some of these play a very direct role, and some others are at the supervising level, like Andromedans and Arcturians.
When Juan and I first got involved with Source and in the Alliance, whatever, back in March, we put there's a verse in the Bible.
Yeah.
I think this just about says it all. It's Ephesians 6:12, and they kind of downloaded this to us to put out when we started doing the work. And it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." And this is what we're fighting, guys, not just on this earth, but in the etheric, okay? And until it's cleared up in the etheric, and that's what Source and all our help has been doing for over a year now, it's not going to get better on this planet. So you're going to feel the pain for a little while, as we've been saying, but it's going to be so good once it's over. So
Okay, so this is the actions. So we have very specific actions that had happened since March 20th, 2019. Actions at the energy level, at the galactic level, and at the Earth level. against all those negative forces and ETs and hybrids and humans. Okay, so the title of this presentation, which can go up to an hour, but we are going to resume it, is Montauk Operation to the Heart and Source Plan Execution with Seraphim. So we all know about the problem now, the pain, the Tri-Alliance helping the divine plan, some of the actions that we listed here, and more detail about the actions with dates, because I learned something a few years ago when I was in my awakening process. My brother, at that time, he was a Krishna priest and monk. He was living in India. He lived there for 12 years, between around 10 in India, 2 in Africa, in temples. And whenever I have a question, I go to him and he validates information that I get. He tells me, oh, that's in the Vedas. So it's very, very interesting. So he told me the first thing very important that he told me is always write down everything right after you finish the experience or record. So that's what I do. I drew, and I record, and I write. So that's why I have the dates and the times when it happened. So I'm going to move to this one. It's very important, and the people that is in this space is because you are meant to be here, because this is going to impact, and you can validate later with the means that you have. You can come and check the document when this channeling was grading, because was a person grading this. So this happened March. Okay, so October 27 last year, I was part of a mission. In this mission, we didn't fight. We were going to have a confrontation with this very strong negative energy. And then I recognized the energy was Saturn. And I don't know how God, love, and compassion is infinite, is unconditional. He offered him an option to be removed from here without any fight, and he accepted. So the Seraphim, the group of Seraphim came and encapsulated his energy. I have the details of everything. It's spectacular. And I was, I was close to you when that happened. And I saw when it was the capsule was going out of Earth. And they said that it was taken. I said, why you didn't exterminate? And they said, because that energy has the right to exist. He's going to source. So they took the energy to source. After that, I said, oh, beautiful. Now I feel less pain, less pressure. So March 28th, we were sleeping with my wife. So she doesn't want to wake up. She just go like a zombie to the bathroom and returns, and I see her going to the living room, and she started moving everything. That was 3 a.m. And she gets this notebook and gets a pen, and I just move like this, looking what she's doing. It's dark. The apartment is dark. And she's like a zombie over there. And it's like 20, 30 minutes she writing. She wrote 16 pages. And the 16 pages is a repetition after repetition of one important message. But there are many subtle differences between the different parts of the message. And what she wrote is a decree of the sentence that Source gave to Satan. So she channeled the information of the decree of the sentence that Source gave to Satan. And I have it here. She wrote it in Portuguese. So this is what you see here is It's the summary of 3 pages. And it's full of compassion. There is no, even that sometimes she says, I need to put a bomb in the face of this, this person from the judicial system. But this is very different. This is not her. And she wrote some words in Latin. She doesn't know Latin. And when she went to pass the words in this to text, we got the message yesterday. She was interfered and she changed some words. And I went reading and she changed the name of the beings. And I got information pushing me. She changed it. It's because she was interfered. So I had to go over there to the hill and ask her, hey, Mikhail is telling me you need to do it right because that's a sentence. It's a decree that you were delivered this because you are an important piece of this puzzle in this plan. And you are part of the divine feminine that was used to create all these hybrids. So you needed to resolve this from who you are. And this is, can you read, Chad, please?
Okay.
Get here because
Yes, here we go. You are currently, can you guys see this screen? You can probably read along with me here. You are currently being expropriated from any influence on this planet. Your sentence is agreed. You are currently expelled and barred from any influence by any means. Finished. Will prove your creation for 1,000 years. After that time, I will listen to your considerations. You are under strict surveillance, unrecognized living, and experiencing the world you created without privileges. Without privileges. It's closed. Your expulsion from the whole kingdom of light has been decreed. The source. And this is what his wife Clemag got channeled from source. And it's what the Bible says. He's going to be bound for 1,000 years.
that's the last part of the decree. This is the first part.
All right, the first part, it's the decree punishing Satan, or in this case, Satan. It's ended. You have been discovered. You will live with the world you created. This is your punishment. Living there, they will not recognize you as their creator. You will be one of them. You will be one of the pawns or servants you created. Go live incognito until you can feel experiencing the world you created. That is your sentence. Satan, now I see you. It is your last chance before the complete extermination. You used all of your devices, but now I know you. I know. I am before you. And that's the big I am.
Yeah, and the next one.
Okay, so I am before you. You will experience your own poison. That is your sentence. You will live incognito in the world you created for 1,000 years, at the end of which we have another session. At that moment, by means of this decree, any influence of yours on planet Earth ends. You are currently being expropriated from any influence on this planet. Your sentence is agreed. You are currently expelled and barred from any influence by any means. Finished. Will prove you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is something that I believe, because the experience that I had in October, and she didn't remember all that I experienced, and then she was taken from her bed to write all this for almost half an hour, and some parts of the decree are in Latin. Okay, so let's go to actions from us in 3D. This is Montag. So last year, around March 15, I had a connection, and I heard in this connection the guides telling me the word Montag. And the next day I was with Chad in Miami driving around, and I said, "Hey, Chad, I heard this word, Montauk. What is it?" He said, "You don't know what Montauk is?"
Yeah, so the next day I explained to him what goes on at Montauk and how it's a portal, and they've been using it for both good and bad energies to come and go. So Source started working with us and telling us that we had to go to Montauk and do something. And
So that was Friday. Saturday, I got information, you need to go to Montauk. So we got our way over there, 5 a.m., March 20th. Around 3 a.m., I was in connection and I saw two images. The first image, actually three images. The first one was a triangle with a sphere within the triangle. The second one was a clock giving me sometime 11:54.
11:59.
11:50, yeah, okay.
Yeah, 11:59.
And the third one was this bus. And I was in this experience, and I saw one being driving the bus, and I sat on the back, and I went to the front, and I looked at the being, and I said, "Is that Chad? Is that you?" And
Driving the bus, and Source said, "No, that's me. I'm driving the bus now, and you guys are the passengers." And
yeah, so Source said, "No, it's me, Source. I'm driving the bus." So that was very, very nice, and we didn't know what we were going to do in Montauk. So in our way there, we saw a lot of chemtrails. Wow, they were covering all the sky. In some clouds, we saw faces. And when Chad was driving, I was
taking
looking at
pictures
faces,
as
taking
usual.
pictures.
He's got about 60,000 pictures on his phone, but
Taking pictures and getting information, downloading at the same time.
right.
And in one of these pictures were an Arcturian giving me information, and then we zoom into the picture, and it's like the face of an Arcturian that we see painted, or it's the face. It's the one that you see down there. Then we get to Montauk, Camp Hero. We don't know what we are going to do there. Okay, nothing.
They wouldn't tell us.
They won't tell us. Yeah.
No, they didn't want the dark side to know. They told us later why they didn't tell us.
So we went to the hotel. We registered at the hotel. Chad said, "But okay, we traveled all this. Now we are gonna do what we are going to do."
About 9:30 at night.
And then 9:30, we start feeling this energy. And I have the picture here. He's in bed, like sleepy, taking a
Dizzy,
video.
getting
Dizzy.
downloaded, yeah.
I'm sitting in a chair, and I say, "Oh, I'm feeling it now." Then I go to my bedroom, my bed, and we get disconnected for like 1 hour. And I start getting the information of what to do, step by step, and at what time we needed to do it. And I cannot tell anybody. We need to disconnect all the phones, all the Wi-Fi, and everything. Before I tell Chad what to do, we needed to disconnect everything. No communication with anybody. So I said, "Chad, this is very strange, but let's do it." So we drove to this location, the park.
Montauk, yep. Camp Hero.
I start taking pictures around, and then this picture right here is very interesting, because I was taking picture from the parking to the sand and the ocean. And in the picture, we see several lights going from
All the beings
ground
taking
up.
off
Wow,
out of the, yeah.
going like crazy. It's more than 1,000 lights, straight lines going up, all directions. And then they start communicating with me. They tell me, move to the left, go to the left, farther. It was very cold. And Chad said, "No, I'm not gonna move over there, because that peninsula we are gonna get all the wind."
We're right on the tip of Montauk with the water about that close, with a big cliff.
Big cliff.
In March. And we just came from Fort Lauderdale and Miami, Florida, with no warm clothes. We didn't expect how cold it would be, but we had a
So-
job to do.
So they told me, remember the steps that we gave you. So we sat on the ground,
Yep.
the sand, and we started the process. Chad had to maintain the energy, I believe. I had to do 3 steps. One step was related to the breathing that we taught at the beginning.
Yep.
And I was anchoring the light, and they showed me to go down to a space down there. They told it was a heart chakra, and we had a discussion because from other information, they tell the heart chakra is in another location, but they told us this is operation to the heart. So they told us to go down and inject this light in the heart chakra and disperse through all the energetic lines in earth and on earth this light.
Yeah. Source said the heart chakra has moved. It was now Montauk. And
No,
we
it
learned
was not in the old location, it was in Montauk.
it was Montauk. Yeah,
Yeah.
it moved to Montauk. Right.
Yes. And then it wasn't long. It was maybe 12 minutes everything that we did.
Yep.
And we returned to the hotel. The next day, we went to the beach. We took some pictures, and everything in the sky changed. The sun was beautiful. The rays were coming out beautiful. Okay. And Chad got this picture about the ley lines, how they have a confluence.
Right, and I didn't realize that Nikola Tesla built Shoreham, Long Island, that Wardenclyffe Tower, right on one of those ley lines coming from Montauk. We discovered that the next day. And then we went to Shoreham on the way out just
Yeah.
to check it out.
Yeah, we did a meditation over there also. And also there are some Masonic temples in that area along island. Later, we got information a few days after that the operation we did had different purposes. One purpose was to shut down the technology they were using, the space they were using
Right.
to do time travel. We were still doing that, and they were opening portals to bring negative energies and negative beings through the portals they were opening. The second, they were manipulating timelines, and they were creating a huge mess that we were trying to resolve. All the 3 levels of the Tri-Alliance were trying to resolve. And they were opening timelines for small reasons. And the situation to resolve was becoming very complex. And the third reason was injecting light to the lines. The heart is where you pump all the blood through the system, your system, the oxygen.
Yeah, first it was the violet light, violet flame, and then the pure white light of purity and ascension. That's what we did, and we just infused it.
So why pump all this light through these energetic lines or energy lines? Because they needed humans to take action doing this part of the job, to take out of their hiding the negative energies and negative beings that were and the places they were taking.
Right, because on the way there, Juan and I said to them, well, Juan mostly channeling it, you guys have all the ships, you have all the power,
Yeah.
you have all the technology. Why don't you guys do this? And they said, because we gave you guys free will. We need the boots on the ground. So Juan and I were the material beings
So
doing
that's-
part of
that's-
that work. Exactly. It's our planet.
So that's why I understood from there on that sometimes we are called to go to places and we don't know the reason why at last minute plans change and we go to another place. and we feel and we experience something very nice in that place, like the experience you, Mary, and Gail had, and many others. And when I list all the places that I've been in the last 4-5 years, is correlated to energetic points on Earth. My encounter with Chad, it was also a blessing.
Divine, yeah.
All the encounters that I've been having. So when we started the presentation, we spoke about the grains of sand. We put our grain of sand here. And the injecting of the light to these energy lines brought out all the darkness that was hiding below at different interdimensional levels. And the work of the Alliance now became easier. So these are some pictures of the Montag, what they were doing. And to close,
There's
what
a little
we
more
have
to it than
show,
that.
yeah.
We just tried to summarize it the best we could with the time. So.
Yes. So if this is very important, they told me to show it, the decree of the sentence, the Satan sentence, because we all need to bring it to our heart. They help already. They clean. They did the cleansing of those interdimensional levels above us. Now is our time to do the work down here. And it's the work for the human race evolution. All our intentions need to go for the human race evolution. Earth is important, but the most important is us, all of us. Our soul reconnecting to our multidimensionality, to spirit, to ascend, and then we will do better helping others. So that's the final message. If we get another hour, Mary, we have another good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, for the extra time.
God bless you all.